Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to Kenyan Business Today. It is indeed a historic day for Zimbabwe as they sworn in the next president, and that is Emmerson Mnangagwa, who has taken over the reins at that country. We'll be covering for you that and much more from Harare. Well, also on the program, being a Friday, we have the Week in Review. I'll be speaking to our resident analyst, Ken Gishinga, who is the Chief Executive Officer, the Chief Economist at Mentoria Consulting. He is going to be walking us through some of the interesting highlights that we have seen throughout the week. The CBK maintaining the benchmark lending rate at 10%. What does this mean for the banking sector and for you as an SME or an individual in terms of borrowing? We'll be having that interesting conversation in a short while. But first, let's take a look at our Twitter poll question today. And we are asking you in our Twitter poll question, are you optimistic that normalcy will return in the economy following the just concluded elections? That is our Twitter poll question as of this hour. And we look forward to your feedback. You can tweet me using my Twitter handle at Agina Abi. You can also reach us at KTN News. And of course, remember to use the hashtag KTN Business. We definitely look forward to engaging with you on our social media platforms. Well, let's start off with news from the Central Bank of Kenya. And Kenya's Central Bank has held its benchmark lending rate at 10% for the 7th time in a row, citing muted inflation was expected to drop further. The decision to hold the rate, according to the Monetary Policy Committee, was anchored on the economy having a stable macroeconomic environment. So far, exchange rates have remained stable thanks to sufficient forex reserves. CBK notes that private sector credit has expanded by 2% in the year to October from 1.7% the previous month. Well, let's now listen into that from the central bank governor.
There are some sectors that are showing extreme vibrance or surprising vibrance. And these are the services sector. The services sector is doing particularly well. I would even say surprisingly well. For instance, wholesale and retail sector, transport and storage, and real estate sector. Those three sectors combined have combined to a total of 18% of GDP. And they are now, during the first half, and indeed during the Q3, the indicators on that show that they have been quite vibrant. So the question is clear then, what is going on? If manufacturing is down and these sectors are doing particularly well, how do you settle this? And the answer really, and we'll come back to that in a later point, is that these sectors actually have they are dominated by micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises.
Well, still staying with matters to do with the banking sector, and Kenya's new generation currency is set to be rolled out in the second quarter of 2018. According to the central bank governor, Dr. Patrick Njoroge, despite the cases in court, they are moving forward as required by the constitution. Late September, activist Okia Omtata went to court seeking to have CBK and its governor ordered to implement the new generation currency according to the constitution.
We are moving ahead with the production of and issuance of the new generation currency, as we call it. And this we are doing this consistent with the Constitution, the CBK Act, and other laws. And yes, true, you have heard that we have been sued and all that, but that is in the courts. We'll leave the matters in the courts. From our perspective, we are moving ahead, and our expectation is we expect, according to our current timeline, to issue the new generation currency sometime in the second quarter of 2018.
Some good news there as Kenyans look forward to getting a new currency. Well, The Hood Group, a business conglomerate made up of business owners and professionals, have added their voice in giving recommendations to the nation's healing process after the brutal political season. While speaking during a press briefing in Nairobi, the group's chairman, Matiang'i, said it was imperative that the nation now looked forward in coming together and reconciling differences, while taking the opportunity to relay his congratulatory messages to the head of state, President Uhuru Kenyatta. He also mentioned some of the steps that would lead to the nation's healing.
The business fraternity has lost billions of shillings during the period of political uncertainty. For instance, foreign investors kept away from investing in the country, which led to negative impact on the entire economy. Destructive acts such as burning of vehicles, pelting of stones at innocent bystanders and the police not only affected local businesses, but also threatened the well-being of innocent Kenyans. To progress as a nation, we must learn to coexist together peacefully and within the confines of respect. The culture of impunity, blatant disregard of the law, and infringement of other people's rights should stop. People that participated in committing atrocities during the just concluded election period should be held to account in accordance with the law. This will start the national healing process in a manner that will enable affected